Bitcoin cracked $100,000 and altcoins are next. In this video, we will show you how to maximize your profits in the next 4 weeks. So with Bitcoin cracking this very crucial level, where do you believe the market is likely going to head next?
So yeah, I think right now is the most important part of the next, few months. And if people underallocated and didn't make much gains, now is actually the biggest chance. Because what often happens is after a strong rally, especially with Bitcoin, is that altcoins follow. And we already caught since 2-3 weeks some of the best performers like Virtuals, Tau, and people, they're very happy. But I know that outside of our bubble, there are a lot of people that are still sidelined, FOMO'd, and they want to know exactly what to do right now.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, it's very, very important to have a system. And right now ours point long. And I believe that after big up moves in Bitcoin, and especially after the God candle we saw on Ethereum, for me, these are like very subtle signs that the market will eventually, in the near future, have quite a big, alt season. But right now it is not confirmed. So please don't do anything stupid. Don't go like gig along directly. We need some confirmation. But because we have so much experience, I believe that these are just signs that I know deep inside of me, this is the start of some kind of a bigger move. I don't think we're at the point yet where we can get a 2020, 2021 style run. Yeah. But I believe we can get something very similar to what we saw in November and December of 2024, a few months ago.
Yeah.
I think it will be kind of like that. We can go more in detail into that, but this is the big picture. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm totally agreeing with you. So I also, I'm not convinced that we will see an altcoin season like in 2021, but as you said, something very similar to what we saw in December and end of November last year. So the thing is that it's going to be a rotational altcoin season, meaning that you will have some narratives which will be very strong, and then you will have others which maybe also perform all right, but if you compare it against Bitcoin, those altcoins are not worth holding. So it's very crucial where you are invested right now or which coins you're considering to buy, because if you select the wrong narrative, it's likely that you will underperform. So let's talk a bit about the problems people usually face through those times, so our viewers are not making the same mistakes.
Yeah, man. So first of all, I don't know if it applies to them, but first of all, I believe a lot of people were sidelined for this whole move. Yeah. I mean, we took the majority of the move. We invested a little bit directly up after the bottom. And I believe that people wait too much for confirmation and they buy just way too late because they buy based on emotions. Yeah. But, as I said, that's kind of completely normal. And I can just give you the solution of how we entered directly on the uptrend. And I believe, if you have some good indicators, you don't need to do the more sophisticated stuff like we do, but you can at least use some indicators on Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin is in an uptrend, it's likely to continue to go in an uptrend. And also it depends on how well your indicator is. And you need to be aggressive soon. You need to be aggressive in your entries and your exits, because there's two scenarios. Imagine you're aggressive in your entries and then price goes down, and you're aggressive in your exits, so you exit early on so you don't lose a lot of money. But if you're aggressive in your entries and then it doesn't hit your mental stop loss or wherever you want to get out, it guarantees you that you're at the beginning of the trend and you don't chase the price much later. We went in at the beginning because I went in aggressively. But if price were to go to the opposite direction, aka down, I would have been out. And the next time I see an uptrend, I would do the same thing. And if I have small losses all the time, that's all right, because losses will be small. But if I'm aggressive in the beginning, eventually, if we have a big trend, it's going to be a home run. And right now, we made a shit ton of money in just 3 weeks. This is the first tip I would say to buy for people buying too late. And don't listen to FOMO. Just don't go on social media. This is what we tell everyone in our program. I'm like, Twitter, delete it. Instagram, delete it. YouTube, delete it. It's all just dopamine spikes. It gives you zero alpha. You should only look at data. Where is it going? Is it positive? Is it negative? We could give some data examples, which we looked at to determine the bottom. But these would be the first things that I would look at.
100%. Yeah, I think like most people, like they don't even know that they're acting on emotions. So like when you think back like a couple of weeks ago, like everyone was talking about a recession, that the market is likely to head further down, and all of them argued with like macro data and all of that stuff. But the problem is that like even if you look at data, or if you look at a YouTuber who's showing you data, you still have like his view on the data, meaning that you are still like not acting on data, but on what someone else's reads out of this data. So this is like a crucial thing that you have to keep in mind. And also like, obviously it's bad for us if you delete the YouTube, but still like, I think social media is a tool that you can use if you know how to use it.
Yeah.
But it's more like a way to analyze like sentiment and stuff like this, and not raw data. Like if you are going onto like YouTube to understand the macro situation, you're doing something wrong. If you go into YouTube to understand like how the public views macro right now as a sentiment indicator, then this is a good way to look at those signs. So people are always reactive and always like try to say what creates the most attention. And in bearish times, when you also feel like everything is going to be like, it's going to go down, like the confirmation bias is kicking in, and like people or influencers use that. So they publish information that confirm your view on the current economic situation or the world or whatever. And this is a huge factor in why people, I believe, act more emotional in extreme times in both directions. So also when we are going to go up, like right now, people will rather watch bullish content than bearish content, and rather value the information higher that is bullish than bearish. So
yeah, that's literally it. Because for me, imagine there's two scenarios. There's one guy who has no idea, and then how we invest.
Yeah.
How my investment routine is: every morning I wake up, I do my morning routine, whatever. I sit in front of my PC and I look at raw data. I don't go on Twitter. I look, okay, is Bitcoin in an uptrend? Are altcoins in an uptrend? Is ETH versus Bitcoin in an uptrend? I look at all the crypto data, then I look at all the macro data. Like, actually, I look at the macro data first, like how's liquidity doing? Are we going up? Are we going down? How's the economical regime? Are we in an inflationary regime? How is growth doing? How's jobs data? How's the liquidity data, etc.? And based on all these factors, you know, I have a process. I know if BTC, whatever dominance is green and Bitcoin trend is green, and if macros are blah, 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 I have a chain of trees. I know exactly if this is green, if this is positive, if this is negative, I do this, I do that, you know? So it's a very easy decision for me. I just look at data. And even though at the same time, you know, we might be in the most bearish position ever. I re-entered my altcoin positions around like 80K, okay? I admit it was not at 74K, it was not the bottom, but we rode from 80K to 100 plus K, and we caught virtuals. We did a 3.5x with it. We caught Tau. We bought Hype. Hype did 150% as of right now, all of it in 1 month. And out there on YouTube, it was doom and gloom. If you went on Twitter, now this was me. And then I looked at the data, I was like, okay, it makes sense to go in now. What did I do? I bought. I'm not going to lie, I had like kind of an uneasy feeling because a lot of people I respect were all in cash. And, you know, there was like stuff about the bond market, some risks where I was like, okay, they're valid, but my system tells me to go long. So I will do this, right? And this is me. Okay, and this is how I invest, and Robin. And then you take another guy or me 6 years ago, I would be like, damn. Yeah, first of all, I have no clue. I would be like, okay, prices are down. What do I do? Scroll on Twitter. Okay, 60% are bearish. There's one bullish retard who's always bullish. And then I kind of, you know, like take multiple opinions. Does he say? What does he say? What does he say? And then the problem is that a lot of people are wrong and right many times. So there's never one guy on YouTube who's always right, because even the best traders in the world, the best strategies in the world, you always have some setbacks, right? And they know exactly what to do. So this would be me 6 years ago. I would have looked at everything, the data, and I must say I would probably have FOMO'd in right now. I would be sidelined and I would have FOMO'd in way later, and I would have at least missed out on a lot of gains. And I think a lot of people are still sidelined because everyone was promising them a recession. Damn, what happened to the recession? Now is actually a better time to de-risk than at the bottom at 74,000.
And this leads to the next problem, because like people, what I always see is like people sell too late and buy too late, meaning, and then they also sell too much at the bottom and buy too much when the prices are already up. So if you are sidelined right now and think about like going back into the market, like the worst thing that you can do is like to go all in right now, because like it's always the balance between potential upside and potential downside. And if I look at the market right now and where we are, like if you said it, like a 3.3x on virtuals in 1 month, like how much more upside can we possibly have in the next couple of weeks? And the answer to that is there's way less upside than potential downside. Now you could go on and start like to try to manage risk and like understand, okay, how much, how is the beta of this specific coin and what is like the potential downside. You could go like very deep into this topic, but the easiest way, in my opinion, is to manage risk with the position size. And if you like, okay, you would disagree, but I would say like as a beginner, if you don't have a clear system,
100%,
then position size is definitely an easy way to do this. And if you see that you are late, just invest less. Just go like be a bit more careful.
Or just don't invest at all and wait for another opportunity.
Exactly.
It is what it is. You don't have to always be invested. That's what I'm telling people. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Do you think in the next 3 years you will not have a new opportunity?
Yeah.
Would you rather wait, sit it out, it is what it is, or do you want a 50-50 that you lose 60% of your net worth?
Yeah.
That's a super bad bet. It's one of the worst bets you can take. So I would wait for my odds to get better. However, for me, there's a clear strategy right now, like because obviously we talked, the title of this video is how to maximize profits and what to do right now.
Yeah.
So let's focus on that a bit. We talked about some problems. I think we talked about the most relevant problems.
Yeah.
Do you want to move on to, we are here now, what do the viewers do?
I think we can talk about this, because like in the next couple of weeks you will have a bunch of opportunities in crypto, but you have to be like, you have to stay active. And we already said that in the beginning, it's like a rotational altcoin season, meaning that you won't have like the whole market went up right now, but for the next couple of weeks, like the capital which was, or the money that was made in crypto will rotate between different places, meaning that you want, like as a hodler, you can't just buy something and hold it and then leave it. Like this is not the way how you can maximize your profits in the next couple of weeks. And like when we look at the trades that we have made over the past couple of days, it was like go into this coin, then rotate into this one, then rotate into this one. And this is how you maximize gains throughout those like very short periods, which offer asymmetric returns, meaning very high returns. And basically how you can use this time for maximum profit. So just being invested in one coin, leaving it, or leave your money in it, is not the way how to like maximize your profits right now. You have to rotate, but for that you need systems. And I think to give the viewer directly something that they can use, what system can you think of that they can directly implement without it won't be perfect, obviously. But something they can use directly.
Some beginner stuff. So first of all, I would make sure that the Bitcoin dominance is going to go down, because right now it's not confirmed.
Yeah.
So for example, you can put the 50-day simple moving average on the Bitcoin dominance. For everyone that's advanced out there, we use way more sophisticated stuff, but this is just like for beginners. I believe that's better than going on YouTube and looking for opinions.
Yeah.
Right. So just put the 50 DMA, daily moving average, simple daily moving average on Bitcoin dominance. And what you want is a close under the price, which means the candle, it needs to close under it and price needs to stay under the 50-day DMA for longer periods of time. This is the first thing, because what's also beginner friendly is the RSI. Then you go to settings, you enable the RSI moving average, and you put it in a nice color so you can see it. And then you wait for the line to the moving average, not the purple RSI line, the moving average. The other one, you can ignore it. And then you wait until it crosses the midline 50, until it goes down, or it reaches like quite close to it. So RSI, moving average, and then you can add something like the super trend or moving average crossover or any trend following indicator. You can go on TradingView, click on indicators, and then, okay, just use the super trend maybe because it's easy. And then you use these three in Confluence. So if super trend is red, if the BTC dominance goes under the 50-day simple moving average, and the RSI moving average goes under the 50 level bar, then I think it's quite a good time to go on altcoins for me. We went in earlier and more aggressive because we have more aggressive indicators, which show us early signs faster. So we went in earlier. But right now we're kind of in a phase where it's not confirmed 100%, and some of the move is already finished.
Yeah.
So it's either you're super early and aggressive like we did, or you wait for this confirmation. Right now we're at the middle, where the signs are there that everything's going to explode, but it's not confirmed. So you could get wrecked if you go in now.
Yeah.
So you wait for these signs. Also, you wait for the others' dominance. The three indicators that I give you, you do the exact same on the others' dominance. But in the others.d, search it up on TradingView, go on this search thing and type in others.d. And then the three indicators on it as well. But this you want it to be in an uptrend, right? BTC dominance, you want it to go down. Others D, you want it to go up. So this for me is a good confirmation. And you can buy whatever shitcoins you want to buy because I think most of it will go up. If you want the max gains, etc., that's maybe a little bit more advanced.
Yeah.
I mean, we have, I think, amazing tools for that, but maybe it's a bit too much for this video.
I guess so. I think like what we can actually do is when this video gets published, which will be tomorrow, Sunday, you will have the chance to get a tutorial by us in the Telegram chat. The link is in the description, and we will do a tutorial which will stay up for 48 hours. So you have the chance to watch this video inside of the Telegram group, which will break down exactly what we just or what you just covered in a quick tutorial, so you know exactly how to set it up and how to read it. But it will only stay for 48 hours, so better hurry up. I think that's a good way to do it. All right, so now you have a system in place, and you know that you shouldn't like go in already or completely because we are not like in a confirmed upward movement. We still wait for confirmation. You know how to manage your position. You said you can literally buy every shitcoin there is. I'm not sure about that, to be honest.
Yeah, but man, okay.
Yeah. So
how do you want to narrow it down?
Okay. Yeah. I think you're right to say that it's a bit too much for this video because it's going to be like, okay, how do we compare like different altcoins, or how do we compare strength between different altcoins? It's not that easy. I think the easiest way for someone who has no clue about what he's doing is just to invest in the biggest narratives. Like don't buy, for example, layer 2 coins.
Probably some big ETH, SUI, Solana related coins.
Yeah, I think microcaps will be, like not all microcaps will bounce.
Yeah, but that's risky though. Like if you go in...
Yeah, this is what I want to say. Like I
for
think
advanced people.
I would stick to the top 300.
Yeah.
This, I think, one thing that I would keep in mind, and I wouldn't buy stuff which has which is a dead coin or a project which never was like...
Buy strength,
had exactly.
Continuation, winners win, losers lose.
Yeah.
The strongest coins will perform the best, and it's going to stay like that. But also there's different scenarios, right? Because we might have people that are completely sidelined and in cash. So I think most of the Bitcoin up move is done. So what I would do, if you're 100% in cash, you can it's not financial advice, obviously, but if it was me, if it was me and I had 100% cash, I think I'd go in heavily in ETH, maybe 80%, and 20% smaller coins, which are in good narratives, And obviously, I will listen to my system. So tomorrow on Sunday, when it comes out and everything is bearish, I would go out of ETH again. But right now, everything is long. So I would go into ETH and 20% in good coins. So for me, all my systems are giga long. So I would, if I were 100% cash, I know this is the winning strategy over the long time. So I would go in and wait exactly what you can use. You can go to the Bitcoin dominance trend and the others dominance. And as soon, if BC dominance is red and confirmed down, if others D is up and the trend is confirmed to the upside, that's good. And you can do this on your individual coins as well. And as soon as they turn to the other side, which means BTC dominance is in an uptrend again, others dominance is in a downtrend again, and your individual coins are in a downtrend again, you just go out. And, in the worst case, you have a little bit of losses, which is totally fine if you go in and out aggressively. And eventually, if we have a longer uptrend, you will make a lot of money. This is a trend following system. I believe the risk to reward is quite good. But yeah, I mean, the underlying macroeconomical situation is still bad. There's still some uncertainty about tariffs. Global liquidity is looking good. So things could get quite ugly in September, and I think in maybe 1 or 2 months. I'm not too sure about it. What I am kind of sure about, or I would say there's a high chance that we will see a good performing crypto market in the next 30 days, if we are lucky, even 60 days. Because it's exactly like you said, I don't know, like it's a rotation market, and I think it's going to be more like December and November of 2024, where we will have at least 30 days. And what happens after that depends on Bitcoin as well. If Bitcoin stalls and then it goes back down, it will 100% be a short alt season, 2, 3, 4 weeks. But if Bitcoin breaks to the upside and we see like 120K, then it's going to be a big boy altcoin season, which will last, I think, at least until July, August. So I'm still very cautious. I'm long, full long. But if, I know that in 2-3 months, the economy is looking very bad. And I'm ready to switch it back to bearish cash Bitcoin at the blink of an eye.
100%. And this is also something like you touched on macro right here. And I think like a lot of people try to understand macro through YouTube videos, and like it's one of the most complicated areas to understand, especially in those under those circumstances that we're currently in. There are so many forces influencing the macro market that as a beginner, it's impossible to understand what is going on. So trying to use macro as an indicator for what you should do as a beginner is definitely not the way. I would look at Bitcoin, I would look at the crypto market, look at the things we just talked about, and only look at that. Everything else, forget about it.
Never go full macro.
Never go full macro. It's like we went down that route. We understand macro is not necessarily helping you to improve your overall system if you're a beginner. It's good if you know what you're doing, but to get to that point, it's a very, very long path that you have to go down. And again, watching YouTube videos from people who do that for you is not the way to do it. Rather focus on crypto and the system that we just gave you, and don't look at anything else, because I think you will be more successful using that.
100%.
Yeah. All right. I think we can end it here. Do you have any ending thoughts? People what should people consider? I have another one. Those altcoin seasons that we have right now, they end with a burst. You have a very short period where you can make money, and then when this period is over, altcoins die. And I mean, when we compare that to January and February, and what happened during this time, the altcoin market went down by 60%. Some coins even went down 80 to 90% in a very, very short time span. So you have to be active. This is not a chill and forget system, or the altcoin space is not a space where you can hold something, forget about it, and then leave it.
Yeah.
At least for now, this is not how you should handle crypto. So you need to be active. It's not a passive investing thing.
Now I'm seeing the others versus BTC chart. The trend is positive for the first time since the 16th of December, 2024. Yeah. So guys, you have about 30 days to change your lives. I hope you will make it. Good luck.
How long was like the last period? Can you see that?
Yeah. Do you mean the uptrend of altcoins?
I think so.
It started November 9th, then it went until the 17th of December.
Yeah, so.
But let's say 1-2 months, but with rotations in between.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, don't like.
If you want help, contact this guy.
You know what to do. All right, with that being said, see you in the next podcast. It was a pleasure talking to you, Jack, and I hope you guys make some money.